like that so I can start mine. Go live? Okay. Okay, here we go.
Well,
Ready?
we're live over here. Hi.
Hi. That's Tim and Brow Diva. Hi. Oh, here we go. Okay, it's Thursday night, and these are the Tim Talks with the Nettie Twins.
I'm Deborah,
And I'm Deanna.
and we are the creators of Tim Makeup Company. So we've been doing this every Thursday night, and we're having a lot of fun
Yes.
doing it, and sharing stories from our lives so that people that we get to know, our audience gets to know us better.
So this is what we've been doing in our
sharing.
brow business is one-on-one, and we've heard so many times that our people that we connect with are like, you gotta talk in group, or you should be a motivational speaker and everything like that. So we're just going to share some insights that we do on a daily basis. It's very normal for us, and that and the reason for that is to really connect and uplift and really talk about and maybe just trigger some really great feelings in you, and because that's what our whole company is about, is connecting with your inner self, your inner being, and your truth, your knowing, your heart chakra. All of that is that connecting with that power within, so that you know what's good for you and what makes you feel good. And so this is a movement, Tim Makeup Company. Tim is the acronym for this is me, and we need to, especially now.
Well, so that's the intention of when Tim was born, and we were going to talk about that with the energy of Mother's Day coming up,
and being a mom already. We know you.
So
birth of
how Tim was born, but we weren't going to go into that. What was it?
We could. We could change things up a little bit.
So I've been teaching techniques, my makeup techniques. Deanna's been teaching them for 30 years. I created them as a portrait artist. Hi, Mona. I created them as a portrait artist about 40 years ago. And so Deanna and I have been teaching the techniques for about 30 years. And
You more on, me a little bit on and off.
yeah, it's so it's been a passion of mine. So my passion was to teach women how to do their own makeup. And so over the years, I've taught thousands and thousands of women, and over the years, it's gotten simpler and more minimal. The quality of the products gets better, as we go along with technology. So the products that this is our second rebranding, so we have used the same manufacturer for over 30 years.
Yeah.
So the quality of the products is that of a Chanel. They are private label, and they're ours because there are hundreds and thousands of products to choose from. So anyway, simple. So over the 30 years, things have minimized. I've tried a lot of different things. And so this is 30 years of knowledge.
And the other thing is, though, that I want to just interject here is that we are turning 60 next Wednesday. And so we are living proof of what the simple makeup technique and what we teach about the alignment and everything, how that shows in your expression and how that shows in the way you look.
Well,
and this is the time of our lives.
So a little bit more descriptive about that is that it's not just, first of all, it's not a product. It's not a product at all.
No.
It's the placement of the product, the quality of the product, the simplicity of it, because this is so minimal. But the Tim technique actually defines women's features so that you see yourself.
Yes.
So back on track here. So it's not just the product, it's the technique, but also that it's that our thoughts make a difference in how we look. What Tim does is it really connects you with you, because when you see your reflection, the focus goes to the vibrancy, the energy of your reflection, and that's what Tim does. It's the energy.
And this is such an exciting time to be really sharing this and getting the word out there about this time in life, this time in our society now, having been quarantined or under house arrest for almost 2 months now. But what we're doing is we're meeting ourselves, a lot of us, for the first time.
Oh yeah, yeah. So people talk about that. They're like, we're with ourselves so much that there's stuff coming up. and we've talked about that in our previous Facebooks about, how to deal with the all the feelings that are coming up. And EFT is one of the things, getting into meditation, yoga practice. I mean, I've been doing a yoga class every day, and I'm just loving it, and I'm feeling so good.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have a new body, and this is a dream for me.
And a new connection.
Yeah. So because it's the body mind centering yoga. It's not the fitness yoga. It's the the body mind centering. The
really bringing you into your union with your soul. It's like the yoga is means the union of the body and soul, and so that's what you're experiencing because you're so still. But how Tim was born, though, let's get back to that.
So, so I started showing Deanna these the simplicity, of what I had discovered, and I worked on a lot of different clients, trying different methods, and really honed this to very, very simple. So I taught it to Deanna, and one of the things that was hard for her in the beginning was to grasp the idea that she didn't need to wear mascara at all. And as a matter of fact, mascara, I discovered, is a real distraction from our features.
So now I'm used to it. Now I don't even miss it.
Yeah.
I don't even miss. I mean, the thing that it's just one extra step, and it doesn't do anything. And when I see women with a lot of mascara on, I think it's such a distraction to their beauty.
No, she sees that. Yeah,
I see
so this
that.
is an introduction. So
also
anyway,
back to Tim, how was born.
I keep getting off the tangent.
My gosh, because there's so much to talk about.
So we decided that we were going to work together on this, and that we were going to, there was a lot of passion behind the fact that we could teach this to anyone. It could be taught online, virtually. So
we launched it 2 years ago.
We had
no idea this was coming.
Nope. And so it's been such a blessing and gift in our lives, and a lot of other women's lives. Yeah. And so we kept going back and forth about the name, and we were thinking makeup for women over 40, makeup for women over 50. Keep it simple. Makeup over 50.
Yeah.
And it never felt. Never felt like that was the name.
No.
So one night I was going to sleep, and I had been doing a lot of meditation, devotional meditation, connecting with myself, mantras. I've been doing a lot of my inner work. So I go to sleep one night and I said, okay, God, source, universe, whatever name you want to attach to it, what is the name of our company? And as I woke up the next morning, in my mind's eye, I saw T period, I period, M period. And then under it said, this is me. And I said, oh my God, thank you. That's it. So I came downstairs in this very room in my kitchen here, and I FaceTimed Deanna, and I wrote it out. And I wrote out T period, I period, M period. And she said, Tim, you say it.
I was like, Tim, why would we name a company after a man? Tim. And she's like, no, it's the acronym for this is me. And I just thought it was like, that's perfect, because that's what we're wanting, is for women to really appreciate and love who they are, and just, give you that. It's you can't love anybody else until you start loving yourself. And again, Mother's Day, we're all mothers. Even if we didn't birth a child naturally, all of us women nurture each other. We nurture everybody. We nurture our mothers and our, so we're going to segue into mother's stories, because I have a really sweet one.
Well, tell yours first.
Yeah,
your mother's story. Yeah.
So my mother's story that I don't think you know, that I'm going to tell, is what happened this week. Is that my daughter Chelsea, her son, her four-legged son Harley, a miniature schnauzer, had to have surgery. And so she thought it was, it was a cyst on his back, and then there was another one on the other side. So she thought it was just going to be a little scar, and he was going to be fine. So anyway, my husband, Kevin, went with her to pick him up. Anyway, she came home, and she was so traumatized that whole evening, as she's mothering Harley.
Well, she was traumatized. Why, though?
Because the scars were so long. They were like 4 or 5 inches long, and she was just, he was just coming off anesthesia, and so she had never seen him so
lethargic,
sick and lethargic, like really vulnerable, really, really vulnerable, and hurting too, because he had just had surgery. So anyway, she was traumatized, and so what I I knew that I had to take care of her so that she could take care of Harley. So they stayed at our house, and I, waited on Chelsea. She didn't have to move, and when she wanted to go to the bathroom, or I would sit there with Harley in place of her. So we didn't leave his side for like almost 48 hours.
Oh,
So that was a mother.
Kevin was laying with Harley and laying with everybody too. Hey, Kev, I saw you on here. Monica's here.
Hi.
Christine,
Hi,
Mona,
Diane.
and Robert.
Robert. We call him Robert. Hey, Cal.
Hi, Kelly. Okay, so mother stories. So my daughter, so one of the differences of Deanna and I, so last week when we did our live, we talked about a lot of our similarities. So if you want to catch any of that, you can go back and see it. You can see it on Facebook, Tim Facebook, and Brown Diva Facebook too. Yeah. So our previous lives are up there if you want to see some of our similarities. So today we're going to talk about some of the differences. So
first of all, she likes to wear her hair curly sometimes, and I
Sometimes,
don't unless it's really natural, like it happened naturally. But anyway,
yeah.
And
Sometimes I don't wear earrings, or I wear very
Huge.
little earrings.
And
No, well, and once in a while, yeah. So I started wearing bigger earrings because of Deanna and my mother always suggesting it to me. And oh my goodness, the line of earrings that you have at Brow Diva, Handlin, are very artistic. So I like those earrings. So we're different in that way too. So anyway, for Mother's Story, you had children.
So I was 25 and 27 when I had my son and my daughter.
And I started, my first son was born when I was 38. Then I had
13 years later.
Yeah, so 13 years later. So my oldest son is in heaven, and his name is Asher. And one of the greatest gifts from his passing, so talk about a mother story. So he was my firstborn, died 3 days before his due date. I had been doing prenatal yoga up until that point. So the whole premise of prenatal yoga was to go into the pain of labor so that you could have a natural childbirth. So I was able to use those tools to go into the pain of grief after Asher, he had died, and then I gave birth to him. So that was 22 years ago. And one of the greatest gifts from his passing is that nothing can hurt that bad. And when it's hormonal, it's like 100 times amplification of, the whatever emotion, right?
Yeah.
So going into the pain of the grief, I healed on so many levels. And I knew immediately, when I found out that Asher passed, that there would be blessings from that. And one of the greatest gifts is that nothing could hurt that bad. Nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing that could touch it unless, and I always say this, unless I lost another child, no matter what age, but it would be familiar because I would have already experienced it, and I wouldn't be hormonal. Anyway, going through this for me pales in comparison. The pandemic, the quarantine, and all of that. That pales in comparison to that. So his name was Hebrew for happiness, and I chose it because of that. So I love telling that mother story. Is that my children all have their names came because of a meaning. So I was pregnant and gave birth to Nathaniel 13 months after Asher died. And that was divinely orchestrated. And his name is Nathaniel, which is the gift of God. And he is now 21.
Wow.
And so then Sam was born 3.5 years after Nathaniel. And since I had named Asher and Nathaniel, I asked his dad if he wanted to name Sam. And Sam just turned 18 yesterday. And he said yes, her name. So we didn't know if it was a boy or girl. And he said, Sam. And I've always wanted a Sam. And I said, well, what if it's a girl? He goes, Sam. I said, oh, Samantha? He said, no, just Sam. So anyway, and she has a Vietnamese middle name. It's Sam Mylan, so I had to make it a little bit, more feminine. But
that's so pretty.
I love that song.
I know.
The name. Anyway, those are my mom's stories of my 3 children. And I have two 4-legged children, too. One is 9 and one is 13. So Chance is King Charles Cavalier, and she is 9 years old, or 13, and Hutch is a Shih Tzu, and he's 9.
Yeah.
So
my son is he'll be 35 next month, and my daughter will be 33, and so her children are 21 and 18, and that's a big difference.
And they have similarities in their personalities, you know,
they
between
do.
the boys and then the girls. And
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
fun
that's
to see that
it
as
is
well.
fun. Yeah.
Because her children are like my children, almost like at the next level.
Yeah.
So.
So
that's
one of
really
the differences was that when Deanna's had children and they were young, and I got to spend a lot of time with them. Whereas if I had my children at the same time, we both would have been busy with our own children. So I really got to know her children and to develop that connection, and then vice versa. Her children were grown, or almost grown.
They were teenagers.
And-
so I got to spend a lot of time with her children when they were little. So it was a blessing.
Yeah.
So we were talking about Mother's Day, and the lighting things, and then I was just doing the math because our birthday is the 13th of this month, and we're turning 60, and 13 has always been our lucky number. But what I just discovered tonight was that you had your first son, Asher, 13 years after I had my first son. And then Nathaniel was born 13 months after that. And then Sam was 3.5 years after that. So just all the threes and the ones and the coincidences and all of that. I love that. So.
And we were born on Friday the 13th.
We were born on Friday the 13th. And we're going to be talking about what it's like and how we feel about turning 60 next Wednesday. So for now, anything you want to add before we sign off?
No, I think that we talked about everything. Does anyone have questions? Anything you want to know about us?
It was great talking about how Tim was born, because that is in this time of year, and having it as a new child, because our children are grown and we don't have grandchildren. I don't anyway.
Yeah, so we're co-parenting Tim Makeup now, and we're really, really good at co-parenting because a lot of things we don't even have to talk about.
Yeah.
It's it's like telepathic.
Yeah.
So that was what was great about, we were together, growing up until we were 18, and then we had our separate lives until we were in our late 20s, and then, from late 30s to almost mid 50s, or, 40s. 40s, and we reconnected then, and now we're reconnected personally, and then we reconnected in business, and here we are with Tim, and which has been a real blessing, especially since we had to close the doors at Brow Diva temporarily.
So we've been doing a lot of work with Tim.
Yeah, and reaching a lot of women and sharing with them that it's really the feeling and the connection with yourself. It's not about the product. It's about how
the daily
we
ritual.
feel. Oh yeah. And especially now, it's funny because you'll see I'm doing a repost from an article that Refinery 29 did on the psychology of why we're doing makeup for ourselves now. It's not for how we think other people see us. So it's for ourselves. And what's great about the Tim is that Tim just defines the features so that you don't see the makeup.
So it doesn't look like makeup.
And the lipstick, that looks like makeup, but what it does is it makes me feel more vibrant. I love the feel of that. And for some women, it's takes a little time to get used to. Yeah. So they start out a little lighter, and then build up, and then the next thing you know, they realize how not vibrant they look without it.
Yeah, but just how it just brings your features alive,
Yeah, and actually,
that's what's so great about it, and connecting with you.
And brings the focus to your eyes too.
Enjoy celebrating the mother in you and the mother in all the women that you know. And we are so thrilled to be ready to tell you how we feel about turning 60 next week.
Yes,
Can't
and
wait.
We're starting a YouTube channel. You wanted to get everybody over to subscribe because we, when we get 100 subscribers, there's a special level.
So
that
subscribe
we reach.
on YouTube and push the bell next to it that you'll get the notifications when our new videos come up. So right now it's called Tim Makeup Company on the YouTube channel. We're going to change it, but just for now, it's Tim Makeup Company. But this is Thursday Night Live when Tim talks to the Nettie twins.
Yeah, our Tim Talks.
Or Tim Talks with the Nettie twins. So have a great Mother's Day. Enjoy celebrating and loving you. Thank you. Bye-bye.